Flying in billiard, U.S. Insulation Corp. car number 19. Please welcome Kenny Horton.
From Quaker Hill, Connecticut, in car number 77, in the Benvenuti Oil Par 4 Restaurant Machine, here is Richard Durante.
Going from the 24th position, he'll be driving the Jensen Auto. Entry, he is a past champion here at the Waterford Speedbowl and a past winner of the Budweiser Modified Nationals. Driving car number 79, it's TC Teddy Christopher.
Starting 23rd in the field, aboard car number 22. In the Hansen Company sponsored race car, here is Brandon Hansen.
Going from position number 22, it'll be car number 66. He'll be driving the McKay Racing Headsets. Entry, car number 66 for Wendell Daly.
Lombardi inside out, and Critical Signs brings us our next driver in car number 27, Tyler Chadwick.
Going from the 20th position, the comedian here at the Waterford Speedbowl, he'll be driving the Allied Snow Removal Daniels & Son Construction. Car number 8, it's John Brower Jr.
The defending champion of the Budweiser Modified Nationals will start from the 19th position. He's aboard the J&J Custom Design number 47, Tommy Fox.
Starting 18th, he'll be driving the Middlesex Tansudo Entry, car number 26. He's had a lot of success here at the Waterford Speedbowl. Would you please welcome the driver of that machine, Donnie Fowler.
The only Dodge-powered machine in the field will start 17th. He is in the Rooms Unlimited, car number 03. Let's meet Tom Roger Jr.
And going from the 16th position, he'll also be running on the Wheeling Modified Tour in 2006. He'll be driving the Dawley's Auto Center Mystic Pizza, car number 5. Please welcome Chris Pastriak.
The 15th starting position will belong to car number 2, aboard the Falmouth Ready Mix car from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. In car number 2, let's meet Tommy Craveno.
He'll be starting in the 14th position. He'll be driving car number 16. It's the Manchester Car Star Quality Collision Service Entry. Car number 16 for Rowan Pennick.
Now starting in the 13th position, it's car number 81. He is in the Critical Signs and Graphics, Stash's Cafe, and Troy's Rock and Roll Pizza car. It's James Diego Monahan.
Going from the 12th position, he'll be driving car number 98, the Milford Auto Recycling Entry. Would you please give a big Waterford Speedbowl welcome to Frank Mucciacciaro, the driver of car number 98.
The 1998 SK Modified champion at the Speedbowl will start 11th. He'll be operating the Carnes Automotive Center, Darling Auto Parts car. Let's meet from Salem, Connecticut, Jeff Pearl.
Yesterday afternoon, he picked up the number 1 position in Bud Pole qualifying, but in the redraw, he'll go from the 10th position. He'll be driving car number 11, the Hoosier Tire East Entry, car number 11 for defending SK Modified champion, Robbie the Rocket Summers.
By his side, starting in the 9th position, in car number 35, sponsored by Truck Builder Kit, the Big D, Dennis Charette.
Going from position number 8, it will be car number 51. This driver is all pumped up for the 2006 season. He'll be driving the Mannix Entry, Serve Pro of Norwich Entry, Flanders Bake Shop, Eagle Fence and Guardrail, car number 51 for Rob Janovic.
The Bar Brothers Motorsports number 84 car will start next in our talented field. The driver is a man they call Father Time, John Burgini.
Going from the 6th position, making a rear appearance here at the Waterford Speedbowl, he'll be driving the Earth Technology Pasquarello Electric car number 97 for Frank Ruocco.
Starting 5th in our field, a man who finished 2nd in the Waterford Speedbowl standings a year ago. Today, he's aboard the Allied Snow Removal Corporation, number 49. Let's meet Ron Uhas Jr.
And rolling up from the 4th position, he's a 5-time SK Modified champion here at the Waterford Speedbowl. He'll be driving the Wyatt & Company Serve Pro of Norwich entry car number 3. Please welcome Dennis Gata.
Starting today's race in the 3rd starting position, a Waterford veteran driving the DNL Refrigeration, Troy's Rock and Roll Pizza, Mahoney's Family Racing entry. It is Sean S.P. Monahan.
And going from the outside of the front row, he'll be driving car number 91, the Wilson Sisters Incorporated, TK's Custom Auto, Charter Oak Federal car number 91 for rookie contender, the driver of car number 91, it's Jeffrey Paul.
And the driver who will be leading this talented field into the first turn, amid 32 feature victories in his career, including 2 track championships at the Wall Speedway. Let's meet the driver of the TS Haulers, car number 12, Jimmy Showtime Blewett. Kip Taylor, Alex Sweat, our co-grand marshal. Tell us what all the race fans want to hear.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
About to give way to excitement. Here they come, and it is Jimmy Blewett getting the jump. A bad start for Jeff Paul as he already fades from 2nd to 3rd place, and he is in danger of losing that spot.
And right on the back bumper of Jimmy Blewett is the 31 of SP Monahan. Running on the inside of Jeffrey Paul is the 49 of Uhas, and right to his back bumper is the 97 of Frank Ruocco.
Dennis Gata trying to move his way to the outside of Frank Ruocco in car number 3. A battle down the backstretch. It is the 49 of Uhas ducking his way underneath Paul. Frank Ruocco trying to follow him into 4th place.
Ruocco holds that inside line. He has the 84 of John Briganti nailed to his back bumper. Now Ruocco gets by the 91 of Paul, and now Briganti takes up the battle with Paul.
Briganti trying to pester the back bumper of the 97 of Ruocco. Dennis Charette is in a hurry in car number 35. And Jeffrey Paul, remember, this is his first ever SK Modified race. He was a little leery about starting on the outside pole, so he has wisely decided to shift his way back and just get some experience today. He is about to be overhauled by the 11 of Rob Summers.
Meanwhile, back up the front, Jimmy Blewett still leads the way. SP Monahan right on his back bumper. Ronnie Uhas closes it up in the 3rd spot. Frank Ruocco runs in 4th, and John Briganti 5th.
And right behind him is Dennis Charette. Now it's a good battle on the outside, Jeffrey Paul for the position, and for the 11, Robbie Summers. So maybe the rookie status only lasted for Jeffrey Paul for 5 laps, because right now he's giving Rob Summers quite a battle for the number 8 position.
That rookie title is beginning to wear off on the 91 of Paul. As he works his way now, he has gained up even with the 35 of Charette, but he will fall back as they go into turn number 1.
And we're going to check out Ted Christopher, who has picked up about 4 positions, but there's still a long way between the 79 of Christopher and our leader, Jimmy Blewett.
Blewett still leads the way. He has SP Monahan still tapping on his back bumper. Monahan looks to the outside, falls back a bit. That allows Uhas to close it up, but now Monahan is right there again to battle with Blewett.
SP looking for some elbow room in the bottom, cannot find it. Jimmy Blewett never saw this speedway until Friday, but right now he is driving as if he's been here for years, hugging that white line on the bottom groove.
And meanwhile, the battle continues further back in the field as Charette gets a little loose. He causes many cars to check up.
Summers involved, and Brower bangs against the wall. So a multi-car pileup. Also involved is Don Fowler in car number 26, Jimmy Blewett, and Sean S.P. Monahan. The green flag is out, and it's another monster jump for Blewett. Monahan trying to hang tough with him on the outside groove. It looks like Monahan is gaining as he blurs his way to the outside of Blewett.
Monahan is able to hang on the outside there, but Blewett is able to get that lead as they come this time by. Ronnie Uhas tucks himself right into the back bumper of the 12 of Blewett as they go down the backstretch.
And Frank Ruocco is in good position in car number 97. Sean Monahan trying to get it done the hard way on the outside. He hung tough for a lap or so, but now Jimmy Blewett is pulled away by a car length.
But right there, Monahan still continues to battle with Blewett as they go down the backstretch, looking to pull even as they head into turn number 3. Monahan falls back a little bit, gets a little bit more of a run as they come to the stripe. This time by, they are even as they head into 1.
So a risk for Sean Monahan on the outside because that could take a toll on his tires later on in the race. Thomas Rogers is out of the race for the time being in car number 03.
Monahan slides up the track. That now allows Uhas to get that second spot as he battles with Monahan side by side as they go into turns 1 and 2. Now Monahan falls back, and now Frank Ruocco takes up the challenge.
And it's Diego Monahan getting the black flag from Chad Williams. Chad Williams and Bob Potter on the starting stand. John Burgetti running a strong 5th. Remember, he didn't even know he'd be racing in this weekend until he got a phone call on Friday morning, and the smoke continues to pour from Diego Monahan's car, and he continues to get the black flag pointed at him.
Jimmy Blewett still leads the way. Ron Uhas in the black 49 runs second. Then comes the 97. That is Frank Ruocco. The 31 of SP Sean Monahan runs in the 4th spot. 5th is Burgetti, and 6th is the 35 of Dennis Charette.
Now Jimmy Blewett is in a great position to conserve his tires as he can set the pace. He is a maestro like John Williams of the Boston Pops. He can either go fast, speed up the race, slow it down. Right now, he is a conductor of this orchestra.
The top 6 cars continue to stay the same, but in the 7th spot, Dennis Gaeta has worked his way around Jeffrey Paul, and now here comes Tommy Craveno around that 91.
Getting in trouble as he weaves and bobs his way on the outside, and he loses a position to Tommy Craveno.
And he is locked on the outside. That leaves the 5 of Pastriak to go underneath him, and now Jeffrey Paul looks to make that move under Burgetti as they head into turn 3.
Now the car in distress on the bottom is Richard Durante, and he leaves the racing surface. Tommy Craveno, with a pretty nifty move, is now among the top 8 competitors.
The top 6 stay the same. It is Jimmy Blewett leading the way. The 49 of Ron Uhas runs second. Here comes the 97 of Frank Ruocco third, the 31 of SP Monahan fourth, and 5th, the 35 of Dennis Charette.
Now a couple of subplots you might want to keep in mind. In 11th position, the 51 of Rob Janovic. Remember, he was the 2nd fastest yesterday in time trials. And hanging on the back of his car like a bumper sticker is a 79 of Ted Christopher. He is now 12th. He started this race in 25th place, but the Cannonball looking for some room underneath the 79, so Christopher goes outside. It's going to be very difficult to get by Rob Janovic Jr. on the outside.
Christopher continues to work that outside. We have a spin. It is the 84.
Burgetti in trouble.
The 84 of Burgetti, he loops it around. We look to stay under green as the field works its way back across the stripe. We are still under green, and it is still Jimmy Blewett leading the way.
Ted Christopher in trouble in turn 4. That car has come to a stop. The yellow is out. Ted Christopher in serious trouble in turn 4. It's Dennis, because he's good at these kind of races as we go back to green.
A different man on the outside, Ronnie Uhas, but the story remains the same as Jimmy Blewett leads the way into turn number 1. Now it's Uhas and Monahan down the backstretch, and Monahan takes the 2nd spot away as they go into 3.
A little bump between the 3 and the 31. That enabled Monahan to open up a little distance between himself and Gaeta. Frank Ruocco lost a position, but he tucks it down low into the number 5 spot. Tommy Craveno battling for 6th and 7th position against Dennis Charette. So there is a guy who's been around the block a few times, Tommy Craveno, and he is fogging up the visor of Dennis Charette as they head down the backstretch.
Blewett and Monahan still lead the way. The battle is for the 3rd and 4th position as Dennis Gaeta in that 3 is on the inside of Ronnie Uhas. Uhas fights his way to the front and looks to hold on that 3rd spot as he looks to go around the outside of Monahan.
He's trying to tap dance his way, but he doesn't have enough music perhaps. Now here he comes, the 49 of Uhas, taking the outside scenic route, but he doesn't have enough firepower to get by Monahan, and it also might have cost him a position as Dennis Gaeta is all over him. as they head down into turn 3.
Juhas cranks up the music this time as he gets around the outside of Monahan and takes up the challenge with the 12 of Blewett as they go down side by side into turn number 1.
Also a factor is the 97 of Ruocco, so the top 5 cars could fit underneath a beach umbrella as they head into turn 4. Monahan getting some bite off the corner, but the man who had poly grip for tires that time was Ron Juhas. He is taking a gamble on the outside, risking using up his tires, but he is hanging tough against the combination. Now trouble in turn 3 as Monahan shuffled back, and that bobbles up the whole field behind him, but everybody able to make it through.
Blewett continues to hang on. Now he has Juhas tapping on his back bumper as they go down the backstretch. In third place is the 31 of SP Monahan. Here comes Dennis Charette as he makes a move on the inside of Dennis Gaeta, and he'll take that 5th spot.
Moving in 8th place, one of the feel-good stories today, Frank Mucciacciaro, and a man who started dead last. He has now invaded the top 10, the Cannonball, Kenny Horton. So we have Mucciacciaro, then Janovic, and then the Cannonball trying to fight the 1-2 punch of Pastriak and Tommy Fox.
Back up to the front, Blewett sees in his back mirror the 49 of Ronnie Juhas and the 31 of SP Monahan. Now Monahan looks to the outside of Blewett as they come to the stripe. There's nothing there, and he drops back, and that allows him and Juhas to battle side by side.
Both Juhas and Monahan have had success going outside, but not enough of it, and Blewett has been able to hang his lead. Now he gets a little high, forcing Monahan a little deeper up the racetrack. The 49 of Juhas hanging tough, so is Ruocco in car number 97. Dennis Charette is a factor. Now 2 cars are riveted together. The 12 and the 31, and Blewett able to lead another lap.
Meanwhile, back up at the front, the battle that has raged between Blewett and Monahan has allowed the 97 of Ruocco to close in on the back bumper of the 49 of Juhas, who runs third, but Monahan still holds to his guns on that outside line and looks to get around Blewett as they work their way into 1.
Monahan, will his persistence pay off? It's a very difficult maneuver to pass on the outside here at the Speedbowl. He is giving it another shot as they waltz their way off the 4th corner. Now Monahan loses a little ground, and he is side by side with Ronnie Juhas and not Jimmy Blewett.
And now Monahan, like the junkyard dog, continues to hang on to that back bumper of Blewett as he works his way, still continuing on that outside line where he's been locked out by Juhas on the inside. As this time by, he still takes another run at Blewett.
Frank Ruocco got a little adventurous going to the outside, but now he tucks it in underneath Juhas. 2 cars handcuffed together. Trouble Monahan spinning, nailing the wall in turn 4. Sean Monahan. Here comes Charette. Here comes Gaeta as they are ready to pester the 97 of Frank Ruocco.
Gaeta looks to bludgeon his way into the 4th spot underneath the 35 of Charette as they go side by side through turns 3 and 4. Come up off this. Running in the 6th spot is the 98. That is Frank Mucciacciaro in a side-by-side battle between Chris Pastriak and Tommy Craveno.
Almost a nudge between Pastriak and the 98 of Mucciacciaro as they launch their way into turn 4. Don Fowler trying to gnaw his way underneath the 2 of Craveno. He is able to make the move work. Meanwhile, Juhas downstairs against Blewett. Not enough room to make anything happen.
There is nothing there for Ronnie Juhas. He rides in that 2nd spot. In 3rd still is the 97 of Frank Ruocco. Then Dennis Gaeta in the 3 runs in the 4th spot. Now Chris Pastriak has moved up to the 5th spot in that 5. And Dennis Gaeta has been drop kicked to the 6th. Dennis Charette has been drop kicked to the 6th spot.
You know, Chris Pastriak, this is only his 4th year here at the Speedbowl. But when you have a father like Charlie Pastriak and an uncle like Carl Pastriak, you're going to learn the game very quickly. And he made a dazzling move underneath a 5-time Waterford Speedbowl champion, Dennis Gaeta, to move into 4th place. Chris Pastriak might have one of the fastest cars on the speedway right now.
Pastriak has learned his lessons well. He is riding in that 4th spot now, and he sets sail on the 97 of Ruocco. He gives him a little tap as they go into turn 3, but Ruocco is able to regain that run and still hold that 3rd spot.
And Kenny Horton, with those fresh tires, has quickly moved up. carve his initials. In the side of that car is Ron Uhas in car number 49. Frank Ruocco is there. Here comes Pastriak. Here comes the 35 of the Big D, Dennis Charette. He loves these distance races, and we're finding out why.
Blewett still leads the way. It is a 6-car fight all the way back to 6th spot with Dennis Gaeta. Right on the back bumper of Jimmy Blewett is the 97 of Frank Ruocco. Ronnie Uhas still tries that outside line. He slides up the track. That allows Uhas to run on the inside. And now Ruocco takes up the challenge.
And Charette moves into third. Contact between Charette and Pastriak. Big melee in turn 2. It started out with contact between the 35 and the 5 car, and you see the parking lot that has developed in turn number 2. A lot of drivers involved. Creveno driving away, Pearl driving away, and a couple cars are still pinned there. A lot of smoke in there, and it's difficult to see the cars involved. Like a straitjacket is Chris Pastriak in car number 5. Then it is Ron Uhas, followed by Rob Janovic. Then a battle between Tommy Fox and Tommy Creveno. So with all the problems that Tommy Fox has had, he is running 7th on the racetrack, 1 notch ahead of Jeffrey Paul.
At the front of the pack, the top 3 cars are nose to tail as they go down the backstretch. It is the 12 of Blewett, right there the blue 97 of Ruocco, trailed by the 5 of Pastriak, and Ronnie Uhas runs 4th.
Rob Janovic in 5th, and a great rookie showing by Jeffrey Paul in his first SK Modified race. He started on the outside pole, very patiently worked his way back until he found a hole and got a comfort zone. And right now he is cruising along in 8th place. Battle for 9th, Brandon Hansen in car number 22 takes a spot away from Pinnock. Charette in trouble, Horton in trouble. He is on the grass in turn 2. So a little bit of a jangle. We stay under green, but losing position, and maybe Dennis Charette has lost a lot more than that. That car is limping and turn on the backstretch.
He will pull it into the infield as best he can as we still continue under green. Blewett still leading the way with Frank Ruocco right on his back bumper. The 5 of Pastriak, car length back in 3rd as they go down the backstretch, but the yellow flag will fall for the 35 of Dennis Charette, who couldn't get himself into safety on the infield.
Unfortunately, Charette, Pastriak on the outside. Great jump, Chris Pastriak. He is going for the lead of the Budweiser Modified Nationals.
Pastriak looks to change the momentum as they go down the backstretch. He battles with Blewett as they go into turn 3, but Blewett is able to fight his way through and has dropped Pastriak to 2nd as he drops back into the back bumper of the 12.
Frank Ruocco has moved into 3rd past Dennis Gaeta. Yellow is out. So there are 2 cars, Tommy Creveno, the 2, and the 22 of Brandon Hansen.
Will Blewett be able to continue his penmanship in riding today's race? He gets the early lead as they go into turn number 1. Frank Ruocco right on his back bumper. Chris Pastriak on the outside as they go down the backstretch, and it's Ruocco right on the back bumper of Blewett.
Ruocco making a good run, looking for some room on the bottom. Gaeta a factor. The Cannonball, Kenny Horton has moved into 5th position. But Frank Ruocco, a little bang to the back bumper, a little telegraph to Jimmy Blewett, tell him that he is on his tail, looking to make a move. So Blewett is leading, but all over him, like a white jumpsuit on an Elvis impersonator, is a 97 car of Frank Ruocco.
Blewett looks to continue to write the story of leading the Budweiser Modified Nationals. Frank Ruocco looks to put a change in that plot as they come off the turn 4. Now Ruocco goes to the outside. He falls right back in the back bumper of Blewett as they go down in turn number 2.
Ruocco looking for some momentum off the banking. Again, he ventures his way to the outside, tucks it back in, now trying for room on the bottom. He is doing everything he can to try to create some elbow room on the bottom of the track so he can roar his way underneath Jimmy Blewett.
Frank Ruocco looking to bob and weave his way around Blewett, but Blewett still holds 4th as they come off turn number 4. Ruocco again to the outside as they go into turn number 1. There's nothing there. This time he tries the inside.
Gaeta in trouble as he loses a position back to 5th. Meanwhile, the intensity is at an all-time high. 3 drivers trying for the victory. Jimmy Blewett. Right there with him is Frank Ruocco. Not far away is Chris Pastriak. And now the Cannonball, Kenny Horton. Remember, of these top 4 cars, the man with the freshest tires is Kenny Horton. Will those tires work over the final 13 laps?
Those top 4 cars are stapled together as they go into turn number 1. Right on the back end of Jimmy Blewett is Frank Ruocco, nailed to him as he goes into turn 3. Now here comes Horton on the inside of Chris Pastriak to get the 3rd spot, and back into the fray is the 3 of Dennis Gaeta.
So Horton, who started in 26, has moved into 3rd. On the outside, Ruocco, new leader. Perhaps a problem with Jimmy Blewett. Frank Ruocco has taken over the lead of the Budweiser Modified Nationals. Contact between Blewett and Ruocco, and that only stops Blewett's momentum. Ruocco is able to open up a 2-car length lead.
Ruocco, the new leader down the backstretch. Jimmy Blewett is now the trailer as he goes into turn number 3. Right there's the 19 of Kenny Horton as they come off turn number 4. And with just 10 laps left in today's race, it's anybody's game.
Ruocco exploded on the outside in a breathtaking maneuver to take the lead away from Jimmy Blewett. It is Horton in 3rd. Pastriak still a factor as we go to the final 9 laps in 4th. It is Gaeta in 5th. And Jeff Pearl is the 6th car on the track. A battle for 2nd. Here comes the Cannonball. And now the Cannonball has muscled his way past Blewett. So has Pastriak. There might be a problem on the 12 car. It has gone from 1st to 4th in 6 laps.
Pastriak has got the 3rd spot. Now Gaeta looks to get by Blewett as Blewett has fallen all the way back to 4th. Frank Ruocco leads the way. Kenny, the Cannonball Horton, runs 2nd. And here's a yellow flag.
Problems in turn 2. Yellow comes out with 7 to go. So a dramatic turn of events as Kenny Horton in 2nd, Frank Ruocco, who has taken the lead away from Jimmy Blewett. The green is out. Frank Ruocco is back out in front.
Ruocco gets the early lead off Kenny Horton. It's Chris Pastriak to the inside of Horton as they battle for that 2nd spot as they go down the backstretch. Ruocco, the best man to see the view in his rear view mirror. It is the 5 of Pastriak on the inside, the 19 of Horton on the outside, and behind them is the 12 of Blewett. Just 3 more times by. The battle continues. The 19 of Horton, the 5 of Pastriak looking to make a move on the 97 of Ruocco, who still holds the lead. This time by just 2 more laps. Side by side, the 5 and the 19 looking to make a challenge. Here comes Horton on the outside. He's looking to get a run as they go down the backstretch. Ruocco is able to hold him off, but Horton still continues to challenge on that outside line. It is Ruocco with the lead to the stripe this time. Pastriak gets a little loose as they go down the backstretch. And now Horton on that back bumper of Ruocco. Just one last time as they go into turn 3 and 4. Frank Ruocco, Kenny Horton, down to the stripe. It'll be Frank Ruocco taking the win. In 2nd is the 19 of Kenny Horton. Chris Pastriak in the 5 finishes 3rd. And Jimmy Blewett in the 12 finishes 4th. Dennis Gaeta in the 3 5th.
And Frank Ruocco, you can still hear the sigh of relief in car number 97 as he was patient for 100 laps. You heard him say in his car that the patient game was over. He was going for the win. And he made that bold, aggressive move on the outside to wrestle the top spot away from Jimmy Blewett. But his problems were not over. The man behind us, Kenny Horton, one of his best friends, a man who Frank Ruocco convinced to go into auto racing, almost grabbed the victory down the stretch. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, solid as a rock, Frank Ruocco. And the first thing he'll do is congratulate the Cannonball on a great 1-2 finish this afternoon. Here's the driver of the Earth Technology number 97. Frank, your first win ever was a 150-lapper. How sweet is today's 150-lap victory?
Oh, unbelievable. We've struggled here. You know, we have a good car, and it's always one thing or another. I have a great crew. I can't thank them enough. My kids, one of my best friends right here, Kenny Horton. How good is that, 1st and 2nd? Way to go.
It almost looked like he made a bad move talking him into coming into auto racing because he almost grabbed the win from you. You got the lead from Jimmy Blewett with about 14 laps to go. What happened there?
Oh, listen, I just tried to run my line, run lap after lap, stay consistent. I knew everybody was right behind me. You know, there's great competition here, and it's unbelievable to win a race like this. What a way to start the year.
And that patience you showed by letting a driver maybe get in front of you and keeping your spot might have saved the tires for the final 25 laps.
Absolutely. It was a game of patience. You know, a 150-lap race is a long time. And if you can strategize a little bit and start on the bottom, that's that much more of an advantage for you.
The last question. With 4 laps to go, The Cannonball is on the outside. What were your thoughts?
I didn't know he was there until there was 4 laps to go. He came quick. I knew that Kenny and I, whatever happens, happens. We both watch out for each other. We love racing together, and I hope we both finish first and second all year long. It doesn't matter which order.
So that's the story in today's SK Modified, Budweiser Modified Nationals. This name will be on a very impressive list of champions, Frank Ruocco.